Hello, sir. Hi. Can we have your perspective on how important do you feel brand India is today in terms of the global economic scenario and the global economic order? How important is the Indian economy for the world?
I think the Indian economy is extremely important for the world. It is a growing economy, it's a developing economy, it's got a very large population, its industrial base is growing rapidly, most importantly its intellectual property base is growing very importantly. And we at Lloyd's of London, who are the world's global hub for specialist insurance and reinsurance, take it very seriously.
So, how important is the Indian market for Lloyd's, and what are the various advantages you feel the Indian economy has?
Right. Well, Lloyd's at the moment has written for many, many years business in India, but always offshore reinsurance. So we reinsure Indian carriers operating in India. And Lloyd's specializes in B2B, business to business and catastrophe risk. And that is of great benefit to particularly to countries which are globalizing their economy, commercializing and industrializing, because they're creating new risk. Now we write, as I say, only offshore reinsurance. I think India would hugely benefit from opening up its insurance market to Lloyd's of London. At the moment we are prevented from coming in onshore into India by the current regulations, but there is a bill called the Insurance Amendment Act which would allow the Lloyd's market into India, which we hope very much will get through Parliament in the foreseeable future.
And in terms of the advantages the Indian economy has, can we have your views on what are the various advantages that the Indian economy enjoys as compared to the rest of the world?
Well, I think first of all it has a very high skill base. It has a very large number of very bright people. It has clearly got a great enterprise culture. But I think the problem with the Indian economy is it's still surrounded by barriers to international access, to global access, which I believe the Indian economy would benefit by lowering in all sorts of respects. And recently you've increased the foreign direct investment limits in certain industries, particularly retail, from 25 to 49. I think that's good, but I think you need to carry on.
So, carrying on with the economic reforms that we are discussing for the retail and the other sectors that has been announced, what is the kind of effect do you feel it has had on the Indian brand question?
Well, I think what I would say, and I would speak as an insurance man, I'm not qualified to talk about other industries, but I think it would be of huge benefit to the food chain of the Indian economy, because as you industrialize and commercialize, you're creating these risks which you see worldwide, and if they're not, and India is a prime example of underinsurance, and if they're not insured, then obviously the burden falls on the state and therefore on the population. And if you have a sophisticated insurance sector, you will find through the risk transfer, both domestically and internationally, it will produce a much more secure economy.
So my last question would be on, because Lloyd has operated in India for a long time now. And,
not in India.
Okay, but
offshore.
Yeah, so it has been associated
Yes.
to and through the Indian business
Yes.
story. So how do you see the road ahead for the Indian economy?
Well, I think in the long term, I would see that the road ahead is very positive. But I do think that the Indian economy needs to internationalize and globalize itself and allow direct investment in for it to really develop for the long term.
Perfect, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Great. Okay, is that all right?